My dear Nigerians, today marks the 19th year of our nascent democracy and the 3rd anniversary of this administration. I am thankful to Almighty God for bringing us thus far. This administration came at a time that Nigerians needed change. The change we promised and the change we continue to deliver. We have faced a lot of challenges on this journey, and Nigerians have stood by us in achieving the 3 cardinal points of this administration, namely security, corruption, and the economy. The commemoration of this year's Democracy Day is a celebration of freedom, a salute to the resilience and determination of Nigerians, and a recommitment by the government to keep its promise to lead Nigeria into a new era of justice and prosperity. Public safety and security remains the primary duty of this government. Before this administration came into being 3 years ago, Boko Haram held large areas of land spanning several local governments in the northeast. Today, the capacity of the insurgents has been degraded, leading to the re-establishment of authority of government and the release of captives, including happily 106 Chibok and 104 deputy girls, and over 16,000 other persons held by Boko Haram. In order to minimize the impact of the insurgency on internally displaced persons, government has established secure IDP camps and has improved the mechanism for the distribution of basic aid, foods, and essential commodities using various strategies in collaboration with local and international organizations. Efforts are in process for resettlement of IDPs in their home communities by providing schools, hospitals, clinics, water, and sanitation to facilitate a quick return to economic activities. Government is similarly implementing de-radicalization and rehabilitation programs to facilitate sustainable peace and development. The unfortunate incidences of kidnappings, herdsmen and farmers' clashes in several communities, which have led to a high number of fatalities and loss of properties across the country, is being addressed, and the identified culprits and their sponsors shall be made to face the full wrath of the law. All the 3 tiers of government are presently engaged with communities and religious organizations to restore peaceful coexistence among Nigerians. I want to commend members of the multinational joint task force drawn from Niger, Benin, Chad, Cameroon, and our own country in collaboration with the international community who are assisting in the fight against insurgency in the northeast. I also commend the gallantry of members of our armed forces and other security agencies that have continued to provide security for lives and properties across the country. State and local traditional authorities are helping with much needed intelligence in this fight against insurgency. This administration is pained over the grievous loss of lives and properties occasioned by the carnage of insurgency and other forms of criminality in the country. I wish to assure Nigerians that we will not rest until all criminal elements and their sponsors are brought to justice. Government is boosting the capacity of our security agencies through recruitment of more personnel, training and procurement of modern equipment, enhancement of intelligence gathering, as well as boosting their morale in the face of daunting challenges. The Niger Delta region has enjoyed relative peace through social inclusiveness and cooperation of the elders and the good people of the region. Government is committed to implementing the comprehensive peace, security, and development plan for the region. The environmental cleanup of the region, which commenced with the launch in Bodo, Ogoni, in June 2016, is progressing satisfactorily. Furthermore, farming assets are being revived, and investors in cocoa and palm oil plantations are showing serious interest. The second primary object of this administration is to fight corruption headlong. Like I have always said, if we don't kill corruption, corruption will destroy the country. 3 years in this administration, Nigerians and the international community have begun to applaud our policies and determination to fight corruption. We are more than ever before determined to win this war, however hard the road is. I therefore appeal to all well-meaning Nigerians to continue to support us in this fight. Various policy measures already put in place to stem the tide of corrupt practices are yielding remarkable results. Some of these key reform policies include: A, the Treasury single account has realized billions of naira being saved from maintenance fee payable to banks. 200 billion naira has also been saved from elimination of ghost workers in public service. B, the whistleblowing policy has helped to recover over 500 billion naira. C, the Prudential Initiative of Continuous Audit set up was amended to validate controls, assess risks, prevent personal costs, ensure compliance with public financial management reforms, has helped to identify and remove over 52,000 ghost workers from the federal government MDS payroll. The Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme, aimed at expanding tax education and awareness, has offered the opportunity for tax defaulters to regularize their status in order to enjoy the amnesty of forgiveness on overdue interest, penalties, and the assurance of non-prosecution or subject to tax investigations. The Sovereign Wealth Fund project portfolio has been expanded with an injection of $650 million United States dollars so as to strengthen its investments in local infrastructure, power, health, reconstruction of Abuja-Kano Road, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, East-West Road, and the Mambila Hydroelectric Power Project, as well as the construction of the second Niger Bridge. The fight against corruption through the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission has resulted in recoveries of billions of naira, as well as forfeiture of various forms of assets. This, alongside other efforts, has improved Nigeria's international image and regional cooperation. We have retained the services of one of the world's leading asset tracing firms to investigate and trace assets globally. This is in addition to the exploitation of provisions of existing treaties, conventions, as well as bilateral agreements with multilateral bodies and nations. Nigeria has also signed mutual legal assistance agreements to ensure that there is no hiding place for fugitives. This administration has therefore focused on revamping the ailing economy it inherited in 2015. In 2016, government executed an expansionary budget and developed the strategic implementation plan. For the first time, 30% of the budget was earmarked for capital expenditure, which represents an upward review when compared with the 2015 budget. The SIP was followed by the development of a comprehensive medium-term plan, the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan 2017 to 2020. The broad strategic objectives of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan were to restore and sustain economic growth, build a globally competitive economy, and invest in our people. The implementation of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan has started yielding results. The National Bureau of Statistics reports that the economy grew by 1.95% in the first quarter 2018, which is a good performance when viewed against minus 0.91% in first quarter 2017 and minus 0.67% in first quarter 2016, respectively. Our foreign reserve has improved significantly to $47.5 billion United States dollars as of May 2018, as against $29.6 billion United States dollars in 2015. The inflationary rate has consistently declined every month since January 2017. Recently, government conducted focus labs in 3 key sectors of the economy, namely agriculture and transport, manufacturing and processing, as well as power and gas. These have yielded significant prospects for investments and job creation to the tune of $22.5 billion United States dollars, with a potential for creating more than 500,000 jobs by 2020. These investment generation initiatives are expected to increase capital inflows in the form of foreign direct investment. There is a high prospect that the cumulative investment from this first phase of the labs will hit $39.2 billion United States dollars by 2025. Under agriculture, Nigeria continues to pursue a strategic food security program built around self-sufficiency and minimization of import dependency. As a result, rice importation from other countries has been cut down by 90%, which has a direct impact on foreign reserves. The social investment programs has been created as a means to graduating our students from poverty through capacity building, investment, and direct support. The major strategic objective is to restore livelihood, economic opportunities, and sustenance for the poor across the country. The social investment programs and projects include a homegrown school feeding program. About 8.2 million pupils are currently being fed from 24 states of the Federation, with over 75,000 catering staff engaged under the program. B, the conditional cash transfer has so far recorded over 297,000 caregivers and being trained by 2,495 community facilitators in 21 states. Less privileged Nigerians are now being paid 5,000 monthly stipend in 9 pilot states of Bauchi, Borno, Cross River, Ekiti, Kwara, Kogi, Niger, Osun, and Oyo. Eventually, the scheme will cover all the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. Under the Government Enterprise Empowerment Program, about 264,269 loans has been disbursed to 4,822 societies in the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, while another 370,635 are awaiting release of funds. Empower Job Creation Scheme is targeted at providing jobs for unemployed youth graduates and has so far recruited 200,000 youth, while the next batch of 300,000 have been selected, verified, and will soon be deployed across the 36 states and the FCT. Furthermore, 20,000 non-graduate volunteers have also been selected to kick off the N-Build program in collaboration with the National Automotive Design and Development Council and the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria. In the area of power generation, Nigerians from all parts of the country continue to report better power supply and less use of generators. This underscores the effectiveness of the methodical plan to deliver incremental and uninterrupted power supply to our homes, markets, offices, and factories. The country achieved 5,222.3 megawatts, representing the highest peak of power generated onto the national grid and delivered to customers in December 2017. With new facilities, repairs, and rehabilitation by government and private investors, generation capability now exceeds 7,500 megawatts. This administration is committed to lawful interventions to ensure the operators of the distribution business live up to expectations, especially in the areas of distribution capacity, service delivery, collection efficiency, and metering to eliminate contentious estimated billing. The transportation sector continues to undergo a series of reforms in order to sustain the international best practices and ensure safety and security. The nation's major airports have witnessed reconstruction of runways, installation of navigational equipment, and new international terminals due for commissioning in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu. Bilateral air services agreements between Nigeria and the governments of other countries will significantly open up new flight routes. As a result of strict regulatory and compliance policies, Nigeria retained her Federal Aviation Administration Category 1 status after a routine international audit. Recently, a new maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility with capacity for aircraft C-checks and other comprehensive levels of maintenance was established in Lagos. This would save the country an estimated $90 million United States dollars annually. Giant strides have been recorded over the past 3 years to improve road transport infrastructure in all geopolitical zones of the country. The railway sector has also received tremendous attention as this administration is committed to the goal of linking all state capitals in the Federation by a rail network to ease the movement of goods and passengers. The education sector, especially at tertiary level, has continued to witness expansion in order to improve access to higher education by millions of youth in Nigeria. Over the last 3 years, government has approved the establishment of 1 new federal polytechnic, granted licenses for the establishment of 4 state and 14 private-owned universities, as well as 12 private polytechnics. Government has also continued to support the implementation of various initiatives aimed at improving the quality of basic education delivery. Thus, it has ensured proper funding at the basic education level with the disbursement of 42.2 billion naira universal basic education matching grant to 26 states and the Federal Capital Territory. 851.5 million naira special education grant disbursed to 23 states and private providers of special education, and 2.2 billion naira Teachers Professional Development Fund to 33 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The federal government has continued to support fiscal sustainability at the sub-national governments through the implementation of the budget support facility, which was accompanied by the 22-point fiscal sustainability plan. Thus, bailout funds were made available to states to ease their fiscal challenges and other obligations, including payment of salaries. In addition, a total of 73 ecological fund projects for the control of gully erosion in different communities across all geopolitical zones have been completed in the last 3 years and are undergoing commissioning, while 53 other projects are ongoing. The execution of these projects has generated 357 skilled jobs and 1,350 unskilled jobs during this period. It is pertinent to also make mention of the immeasurable contributions of the Nigerian women to national development and advancement of democracy over the last 3 years. The government and people appreciate you all as mothers of our great country. My dear countrymen and women, as we all celebrate our democratic experience, let us resolve to avoid hatred and intolerance. We can only achieve our objectives in an atmosphere of harmony and peaceful coexistence. Finally, the upcoming months will usher us into another season of general elections. Let me use this opportunity to urge us all to conduct ourselves, our wards, and our constituencies with uttermost sense of fairness, justice, and peaceful coexistence, such that we will have not only hitch-free elections, but also a credible and violence-free process. In few days to come, I will be joined by many promising young Nigerians to sign into law the Not Too Young to Run bill. I thank you for your attention. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.